In the spotlight tonight, Tim Wilson from Peterborough, an author, and his special subject is English Romantic Literature from 1789 to 1830. Chris Jones from West Yorkshire, civil servant, his subject, the songs and film music of Randy Newman. John Keane from Berkshire, an IT manager taking English League football grounds since 1945 as his. And Jacqueline Brocklehurst from Cheshire, student, her specialist subject is the Harry Potter films. I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. It's the same routine, a test of how much our contenders know and how good they are at delivering it under the pressure of the clock. There are two sets of questions, one on their specialist subject and one on general knowledge. And the time allowed for each is 2 minutes. So, may I have our first contender, please? And your name is?
Tim Wilson.
Occupation?
Author.
And your chosen subject?
English Romantic Literature, 1789 to 1830.
You have 2 minutes on that, starting now. What was the title of Thomas de Quincey's autobiographical paper of 1822 which catapulted him to prominence?
Confessions of an English Opium Eater.
Correct. In which city was the first edition of Lyrical Ballads published in 1798?
Bristol.
Correct. Into how many parts is Coleridge's poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner divided?
3.
7. What was the title of Shelley's elegy that he wrote on hearing of the death of Keats?
Adonais.
Correct. To which painter did Keats address an 1870s sonnet that started with the word high-mindedness?
Benjamin Robert Hayden.
Correct. In The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, which creature sang on the barren heath?
Pass.
In the novel The Adventures of Caleb Williams, what was the first name of the Squire of the Manor Falkland?
William.
No, Ferdinando. Which two words complete this line from Keats? What Elysium have ye known? Happy field or mossy cavern, choicer than the...
Pass.
About which 18th century battle did Robert Southey write a ballad?
Hohenlinden.
The Battle of Blenheim. Which poet was born in the Northamptonshire village of Helpstone in 1793?
John Clare.
Correct. Endymion had the subtext, the stretched metre of an antique song. It was inscribed to the memory of which poet?
Chatterton.
Correct. Which epic poem published in 1798 did Walter Savage Landor write after moving to Wales?
Gebir.
Correct. Which literary critic wrote the essays Lectures on the English Poets and the Spirit of the Age?
William Hazlitt.
Correct. According to his preface, amongst which ruins did Shelley say that Prometheus Unbound was chiefly written?
The Baths of Caracalla.
Correct. Which brothers were imprisoned for libel against the Prince Regent in 1813 but continued to publish their critical paper, The Examiner, while serving their sentences?
Lee and John Hunt.
Correct. What was described as the monarch of the mountains in Byron's Manfred?
The Jungfrau.
Mont Blanc. In the poem Dejection, an ode, which line follows, Dear lady, friend devoutest of my choice?
No, pass.
Well, I shall tell you, since you passed on 3, and that was one of them, thus mayst thou ever, evermore rejoice. Coleridge. And the 2 other questions on which you passed, the words that complete this line from Keats, what Elysium have ye known, happy field or mossy cavern, choicer than the Mermaid Tavern? And in The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, it was the honeybees that sang on the barren heath. I guess it couldn't have been that barren, could it? Otherwise the honeybees wouldn't have been singing. Poetic licence. Tim Wilson, you've scored 10 points. And our second contender, please. And your name is?
Chris Jones.
Occupation?
Civil servant.
And your chosen subject?
The songs and film music of Randy Newman.
2 minutes on that subject, starting now. With what song from Monsters, Inc. did Newman finally win an Oscar in 2002 after 15 unsuccessful nominations?
Pass.
To which 1970 cult film soundtrack did Newman contribute the song Gone Dead Train?
Pass.
Which Randy Newman song did Cilla Black take to number 17 in the UK singles chart in '65?
I've been wrong before.
Correct. In 1996, Newman became the first recipient of which award for life achievement as a film songwriter?
The Henry Mancini Award.
Correct. In 1966, the Randy Newman Orchestra released an album of instrumental music from which long-running US television series?
Peyton Place.
Correct. In 1981, the song One More Hour from the soundtrack of which film was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song?
Ragtime.
Correct. In 62, Newman became a staff writer for which publishing division of Liberty Records?
Pass.
Newman provided piano accompaniment on whose 1970 album, which consisted of 10 of Newman's songs?
Harry Nilsson.
Correct. Which song from the 95 film Toy Story had been nominated as Best Song?
You've Got a Friend in Me.
Correct. By 68, with which record label had Newman signed a recording contract?
Reprise.
Correct. Which 70 Newman album, with guest appearances by Ry Cooder and Gene Parsons, contained the song Mama Told Me Not to Come, later successfully covered by Three Dog Night?
12 songs.
Correct. In which Oscar-winning 1994 film was Newman's Mr. President Have Pity on the Working Man included on the soundtrack?
Pass.
Gene Pitney had 2 UK top 10 hits with Newman's songs in 66. Nobody Needs Your Love was one. What was the other?
Pass.
Which 74 Newman album that challenged backward Southern attitudes featured guest backing vocals by Glenn Frey and Don Henley of the Eagles?
Good Old Boys.
Correct. For which 86 film did Newman contribute to the screenplay as well as providing the soundtrack and appearing as the singing Bush?
Three Amigos.
Correct. Newman received an Oscar nomination for his song Make Your Mind Up. Which 94 film did it come from?
The Paper.
Correct. Which Newman song has been covered by Harper's Bazaar, Harry Nilsson and the Alan Price Set? I've started, so I shall finish. Who took it to number 4 in the UK singles charts in March 67?
Simon Smith and His Amazing Dancing Bear.
It was indeed. You passed on 5 questions altogether. Gene Pitney had 2 top 10 hits. The one you didn't know was Just One Smile. The Oscar-winning 94 film was Forrest Gump. In 62, Newman became a staff writer for Metric Music. The 1970 cult film soundtrack was Performance. And the song from Monsters, Inc. was If I Didn't Have You. You remembered it since, haven't you? You scored, Chris Jones, 12 points. And our third contender, please. And your name is?
Is John Keane,
Occupation?
IT manager.
And your chosen subject?
Is English Football League grounds since 1945.
2 minutes on that, starting now. Which is the only English Football League ground to have staged a World Cup semi-final?
Villa Park.
Goodison Park. After leaving the Valley, Charlton Athletic played home games at Selhurst Park from 85 to 91, and at which ground in the 91-92 season?
Upton Park.
Correct. The east stand of the Reebok Stadium in Horwich is named after which former Bolton Wanderers stalwart?
Nat Lofthouse.
Correct. Which English football club plays its home games at the Neen Park Stadium, Earthlingborough?
Rushden and Diamonds.
Correct. Which Southampton favourite scored the last ever league goal in the last minute of the last ever competitive match at the Dell?
Pass.
From the 1960s to the 90s, what type of boat did Fred Davis use to fish misdirected footballs from Shrewsbury Town's Gay Meadow ground out of the River Severn?
A scull.
It was a coracle. Which ground at 550 feet above sea level is the highest in the English Football League?
Oldham Athletic.
It's the Hawthorns, West Brom. England played 2002 World Cup qualifying games at Old Trafford, St James Park, Newcastle and which other league venue?
Elland Road.
Anfield. What is the name of the Reading chairman after whom their home ground is named?
John Majewski.
Correct. Constructed on the site of a disused chemical refuse tip, which stadium opened in 94 was built as a joint venture between the local football club and Kirklees Development Corporation?
The McAlpine Stadium.
Correct. What's the name of the stand built in 93 on the east side of Villa Park, which replaced the old Witten Lane stand?
Pass.
The venue that attracted a record low post-war league gate of 450 in 74, Spotland, is the home of which club?
Rochdale.
Correct. Old Trafford and which other Premiership ground have current capacities of more than 50,000?
Highbury.
St James's Park. On which ground was the highest ever attendance for a Football League game in England? 83,260, recorded in January 48.
Main Road, Manchester.
Correct. Which club introduced a 100% membership scheme in 86, effectively banning all away supporters from attending matches at its home ground?
Luton Town.
Correct. Sunderland Stadium of Light shares its name with the Estadio de Luz, built for which club in the early 50s?
Sporting Lisbon.
You very nearly said Benfica, didn't you?
Yes.
And had you said Benfica, you would have been right. However, you were wrong. You passed on 2 questions. The name of the stand built in '93 at Villa Park was the Doug Ellis stand, and the goal scorer at Southampton was at the Dell, in fact, for Southampton, was Matthew Letizier. However, you have scored, John Keane, 8 points. And our 4th contender, please. And your name is?
Jacqueline Brocklehurst.
And your occupation?
Student.
And your chosen subject?
The Harry Potter movies.
The Harry Potter movies, 2 minutes beginning now. From which country does the species of snake come that Harry encountered on the Dursleys' trip to the zoo?
Brazil.
No, Burma. Who adapted J.K. Rowling's novels into screenplays for both The Philosopher's Stone and The Chamber of Secrets?
Steve Kloves.
Correct. Which British producer acquired the rights to the Harry Potter films in 1997 for a reputed 7-figure sum?
Pass.
Which character was played by Eleanor Columbus, daughter of the director Chris Columbus, in both of the first 2 films?
Susan Bones.
Correct. What title was given to the first Harry Potter film when it was released in the United States?
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Correct. What was the name of the defence against the dark arts teacher during Harry's first year at Hogwarts School?
Professor Quirrell.
Correct. In which department does Arthur Weasley work at the Ministry of Magic, a position that was put in jeopardy by Ron and Harry's adventures?
Care of Muggles.
No, it was the Misuse of Muggles Artefacts Office. The grounds of which castle were used for the scenes that featured the broomstick flying lessons at Hogwarts?
Alnwick Castle.
Correct. What was the title of Gilderoy Lockhart's autobiography, the signing of which provided Professor Lockhart with the first opportunity to meet Harry?
Magical Me.
Correct. Which former England rugby international appeared as a 16-year-old Hagrid in the Chamber of Secrets?
Pass.
Harry's classmate Neville Longbottom had a pet toad which he was always misplacing because of his forgetfulness. What was the toad's name?
Trevor.
Correct. For how many Oscars were Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone nominated?
3.
Correct. Which actor voiced the sock-loving Dobby the house elf in the Chamber of Secrets?
Pass.
In which number vault at Gringotts Wizarding Bank is Harry's money that was bequeathed to him by his parents stored?
687.
Correct. Which 2 members of the Slytherin house were the thuggish sidekicks of Draco Malfoy?
Crabbe and Goyle.
Correct. What is the surname of the brothers who played Fred and George Weasley in both of the first 2 films?
Fleps.
No, Phelps. What name is given to the ghost played by Shirley Henderson who constantly haunts the girls' bathroom?
Moaning Myrtle.
Correct. As featured on Harry's letter inviting him to Hogwarts, in which Surrey suburb is Privet Drive situated?
Little Whinging.
Correct. What was the full name? I've started, so I'll finish. What was the full name of the first-year Gryffindor student featured in the Chamber of Secrets who kept on following Harry with a camera?
Colin Creevy.
Correct. So, you passed on 3 questions. The actor who voiced Dobby the house elf and all that was Toby Jones. This one I find highly improbable. The former England rugby international who appeared as a 16-year-old was Martin Bayfield. And the British producer who acquired the rights in '97 to the films was David Heyman. However, Jacqueline Brocklehurst, you've scored 13 points. And that brings us to the end of our first round on specialist subjects. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place on 8 points, John Keane. In 3rd place on 10 points, Tim Wilson. In 2nd place, with 12 points, Chris Jones. In the lead, as I say, with 13 points, Jacqueline Brocklehurst. So, on with the general knowledge rounder. Let me first ask John Keane to join us again, if he would. And you scored 8 points on English League football grounds. Why the great interest in the football grounds as opposed to the football teams?
Really, it's an interest in both, but without the grounds, there'd be no teams. They're part of our heritage, but they're much neglected.
Well, they're not only neglected, are they? The ownership seems to change a bit these days, and they're being taken away from the fans, in a sense.
That's right.
They?
It's usually for fairly unscrupulous reasons, and there seems to be no control over who's allowed to run a football ground.
Let's see how you are on general knowledge. And you have 2 minutes on that starting now. Which seaport, famed for its zoo and naval base, is the 2nd largest city in California in terms of population?
San Diego.
Correct. Which international paper size measures 8.27 by 11.69 inches or 210 by 297 millimetres?
A4.
Correct. Which double Oscar-winning actor became artistic director of the Old Vic in February of this year?
Pass.
Saint-Emilion, Pomerol and Entre-deux-Mers come from which wine region of France?
Bordeaux.
Correct. Which autobiography by Henri Charrière was based on his experiences as a prisoner who escaped from Devil's Island?
Papillon.
Correct. In the Old Testament, who was the father of Benjamin and Joseph by his second wife, Rachel?
Jacob.
Correct. Who was the last British Prime Minister to lead the government from the House of Lords?
Lord Palmerston.
No, Lord Salisbury. The country music show The Grand Ole Opry began broadcasting from which American city in 1925?
Nashville.
Correct. Which British tennis player was married to Chris Evert from 79 till 87?
John Lloyd.
Correct. In the fairy story by Hans Christian Andersen, what's the name of the tiny girl who was born in a flower?
Pass.
Royal, glacé and fondant are three types of which decorative topping?
Cherry.
Icing. On board which American battleship did the Japanese surrender in September 1945?
The Louisiana.
No, the Missouri. In a standard pack of playing cards, which king is shown in profile?
Spades.
Diamonds. What is the common name for the genus of plants whose scientific name is Helianthus?
Sunflower.
Correct. The prairie dog is a member of which family of rodents?
Pass.
What is the name of the sharp left-hand last bend on the Epsom Derby course?
Tattersalls.
Tattenham Corner. What name is given to the type of orchestra originally from Java and Bali, which features a wide range of percussion instruments?
Pass.
Spencer Perceval, who was murdered in 1812, was the only British holder of which post to have been assassinated?
Chancellor of the Exchequer.
No, Prime Minister. L is the international vehicle registration letter for which country?
Luxembourg.
Correct. You passed on 4 questions. The name given to that sort of orchestra from Java and Bali, all sorts of instruments, is the gamelan. The prairie dog is a member of the squirrel family. That fairy tale, The Tiny Girl, was Thumbelina. And the double Oscar-winning actor who took over the Old Vic, or became artistic director there, was Kevin Spacey. John Keane, you have a total of 17 points. And now will Tim Wilson please come and join us? And you scored 10 points with your knowledge of English romantic literature. Mr. Wilson, you've a favourite romantic poet or author?
Yes, it would have to be Keats.
It would have to be Keats.
Who I got a question wrong about, but I still like him even so.
Even if he let you down
Yes.
when you needed it most. Yeah. You're an author in your own right, of course.
Yes, I am, yes.
Right, lots of books.
I've written 24 novels, yes.
Under lots of names.
Yes, I've been several people. I've been a lady as well.
I see. But only as a pseudonym?
Only professionally, yes.
And what name did you take?
The lady's name was Hannah March.
Do you think that one day you'll do the book that sells 1 million copies and catapults you into the...
I pray, I don't think, but I hope, yes.
Well, good luck to you. Let's see how it's prepared you for this general knowledge round. 2 minutes, starting now. Which prize awarded to a British artist under 50 was won in 2002 by Keith Tyson for work including a fantasy front page of the Times?
The Turner?
Correct. What name is given to the traditional Welsh delicacy of fried seaweed, usually served at breakfast?
Lava bread.
Correct. Under what name did Paul McCartney's younger brother Michael perform as a member of the group Scaffold?
Mike McGear.
Correct. What name is given to the blinking character on a computer screen that shows where the next character will appear?
Cursor.
Correct. What's the name of the traditional Maori war dance, a version of which is performed by the All Blacks before a rugby union game?
Pass.
Portsmouth and Manchester are among the principal cities of which American state whose capital is Concord?
Massachusetts.
New Hampshire. In which fairy story does an evil dwarf help a miller's daughter fulfill a boast by her father that she could spin straw into gold?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Correct. The Sylt concentration camp was situated on which of the Channel Islands during World War II?
Guernsey.
Alderney. Which material principally used for fastening gets its name from a combination of the French words for hooked velvet?
Velcro.
Correct. In the book of Genesis, which 2 cities were destroyed by brimstone and fire for the sinful behaviour of their inhabitants?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Correct. Which actress stood as the Workers' Revolutionary Party candidate at Moss Side in the 1979 general election?
Vanessa Redgrave.
Correct. Which word for a large luxurious car is derived from the French word for a type of hooded cloak?
Limousine.
Correct. What is the medical term for an enlargement of the thyroid gland caused by iodine deficiency?
Goiter.
Correct. The Scottish city of Perth stands on which river?
The Tay.
Correct. For which cricketing county has Graham Hick played since his English debut in 1984?
Pass.
Which battle of the English Civil War was fought some 7 miles west of York on July the 2nd, 1644?
Marston Moor.
Correct. What's the name of the museum in Madrid which contains the world's greatest collection of Spanish paintings?
The Prado.
Correct. Which enthusiastic naturalist became... I've started, so I shall finish. Which enthusiastic naturalist became a television star in the 70s after appearing as a pundit on Yorkshire Television's Don't Ask Me?
David Bellamy.
Correct. So, you passed on to... You're clearly not terribly keen on sport, are you? They were both sporting questions. The cricketing county that Graham Hicks played for so long is Worcestershire. And the traditional Maori dance that the All Blacks terrified their opponents with is the haka. So, Tim Wilson, you now have 24 points. And now Chris Jones, if he would, please. So, Mr. Jones, 12 points on Randy Newman, who's a bit of a bigot, isn't he?
No, some people listening to his music might think so, but he's unusual in a songwriter, and he actually writes in character. His songs are often like short stories, so they're not his words that he's singing. He's actually puts himself into the shoes of a character.
So is it the lyrics rather than the music that appeals to you?
In the songs, I think I tend to prefer the lyrics, but in this film music, he shows himself to be a great composer as well.
Let's test your general knowledge now. You have 2 minutes, starting now. Whose painting of his mother is properly called Arrangement in Grey and Black No. 1, the artist's mother?
Whistler.
Correct. In which Italian city was the explorer Christopher Columbus born?
Genoa.
Correct. What colour are the wing cases of the cardinal beetle?
Pass.
Reopened in June 1958, which British airport was the first in the world to integrate road, rail and air transport within a single closely knit unit?
Gatwick.
Correct. Which middle name was shared by Charlie Chaplin and Sir Winston Churchill?
Pass. Randolph. Sorry.
No, Spencer. Who in a test career lasting from 1970 to 87 scored a record 34 centuries in test matches?
Gooch.
No, Gavaskar. Who, clad in a suit of white armour, led an army which forced the English to lift the siege of Orleans in 1429?
Joan of Arc.
Correct. What name derived from the Greek words for out and oath is given to the act of expelling evil spirits by certain ceremonies?
Exorcism.
Correct. Which Mozambique-born footballer was the leading scorer in the '66 World Cup?
Eusebio.
Correct. What was the pseudonym of short story writer Hector Hugh Munro?
O. Henry.
No, Saki. Which musical direction means playing notes on a string instrument by plucking, not bowing the string?
Pizzicato.
Correct. What name is given to the waxy substance produced in the intestine of the sperm whale, which is an important ingredient in perfume making?
Pass.
Whose last play, The Cherry Orchard, was first performed in Moscow in January 1904, less than 6 months before its author's death?
Chekhov.
Correct. Apart from the Earth, which was the first planet found to have satellites?
Mars.
No, Jupiter. Which French artist had a genetic disorder and suffered 2 separate accidents in his youth, which left his legs atrophied and made walking very difficult?
Toulouse-Lautrec.
Correct. Who led the revolution which overthrew the government of Batista in Cuba in '59?
Fidel Castro.
Correct. Which order of chivalry gets its name from the ceremony which was formerly practiced at the inauguration of a knight as a symbol of purity?
Pass.
Which former Lord Chancellor of England was beheaded in 1535 for refusing to recognise Henry VIII as head of the Church of England?
Thomas More.
Correct. And that is your 2 minutes up, and you passed on 3 questions. The order of chivalry was the Knights of the Bath. The name given to that waxy substance produced by a whale, and it's hugely valuable, apparently, is ambergris. You remembered it later. And the colour of the wing cases of the cardinal beetle. The clue was in the cardinal bit. Red or scarlet. So, Chris Jones, you now have a total of 23 points. And now Jacqueline Brocklehurst, if she would, please. So, in the lead at the moment with 13 points on Harry Potter. Been reading him since, I was going to say, since you were young. You're not very old now. You are...
I'm 19.
Which would make you, I think, and somebody will correct me if I'm wrong on this, I hope, our youngest female contestant. Possibly youngest contestant ever. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
19, and you've been reading Harry Potter for a long time.
Only since last year.
Oh.
Yeah, my mum bought me the books for Christmas a few years ago, and I didn't fancy read them. I thought, children's books, you know. But she read them and told me they were really good, so I read them and now I'm hooked.
And you agreed, they are terribly good, are they?
Yeah, excellent, brilliant.
Work on both levels. I have to confess I haven't read them, but they work for children and adults.
Yeah, I think it's because there's a good balance between the different age range of the characters. There's lots of children, but there's also lots of adults, so, you know, either can relate with either.
Let's see how good you are at general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. What name thought to come from the vulgar Latin for a cooking pot is given to large flat sheets of pasta?
Pass.
Who sailed into Plymouth on May the 28th, 1967, having completed a solar circumnavigation of the Earth in the yacht Gypsy Moth IV?
Pass.
Prior to decimalisation, how many pennies made up a pound?
40.
240. Dionea muscipula, a flowering member of the sundew family, notable for catching and digesting insects, is better known by what name?
Venus flytrap.
Correct. Who in 1867 wrote the dramatic poem Peer Gynt?
Pass.
Who, when he took the wicket of Wasim Raja at Brisbane in November 1981, became the first Australian bowler to take 300 Test wickets?
Pass.
Michigan entrepreneur Melvin Bissell is credited with the invention of which household cleaning device in 1876?
Broom.
The carpet sweeper. What is the general term for the premium paid for the borrowing of money?
Interest.
Correct. Which fashion designer was born in the village of Tintwistle, Derbyshire in 1941, the eldest daughter of Gordon and Dora Swire?
Pass.
Which philosophy that rejects all traditional values and institutions takes its name from the Latin for nothing?
Pass.
Which Scottish explorer drowned in 1806 after being attacked by natives while he was exploring the course of the River Niger?
Andy Boris.
Mungo Park. Johann Rudolf Wies, a professor of philosophy at the Academy of Bern, completed which children's classic story that had been begun by his father?
Pass.
How long does a bicentennial period last?
2 years.
20 years. Which actor and producer who was knighted in 53 was the grandnephew of the actress Ellen Terry?
George Orwell.
Sir John Gielgud. So, you passed on 7 questions, Jacqueline. The Swiss Family Robinson was Wies's book. The philosophy that rejects all traditional values is nihilism. The fashion designer, you'll know of her, of course, was Vivienne Westwood. The cricketer who took all those wickets, 300 Test wickets, was Dennis Lilly. The author of Peer Gynt was Ibsen. It was Sir Francis Chichester who sailed Gypsy Moth into Plymouth on May the 28th. And the name that comes from the vulgar Latin for a cooking pot is lasagna. So, there we are. You now have a total of 15 points. So, at the end of that general knowledge round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place, with 15 points, is Jacqueline Brocklehurst. In 3rd place, with 17 points, John Keane. In 2nd place, with 23 points, Chris Jones. In 1st place, just pipped him at the post with 24 points, is Tim Wilson. So that means that Tim Wilson goes through to the next round. Congratulations to him. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.